Now, we're about to show you the video of the jailers assaulting the inmate, and as a warning, it is graphic and could be disturbing to some viewers. Sheriff Roundtree says this was an inmate that is known for...
Welcome, everyone. I am Leroy Truth for Leroy Truth Investigations, because recording the police during the daily course of their duty shall help us to hold them accountable through showing transparently what they do, and shall keep us free. Breaking news out of Richmond County, Georgia. 2 sheriff's deputies, not just accused, they are accused, but we see it on video with our own 2 eyes, them assaulting an inmate. Egregious, despicable, savage. Let's take a look. Let's get right into the story here. RCSO deputies investigated after inmate assault accusations. Sheriff releases video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the sheriff didn't release the video out of the goodness of his heart, because he is an altruistic, caring, loving, God-fearing man. He did it because it was so freaking egregious. It happened to see the light of day because the inmate complained. I'm not sure how that got out to the public, because most of the time they're buried, but thank God it did. Continuing, I'll show you the whole video in a minute. Sheriff Roundtree held a press conference about the jailers accused of beating an inmate. He also released surveillance video of the incident. 2 Richmond County Sheriff's Office deputies have been under investigation after an inmate filed a complaint accusing the officers of assault. To say it's assault would be an understatement. According to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, the Internal Affairs Division, also known as IAD, that shit needs to end, because for every one of these cases that get out, there's probably 100 or 1,000 that don't, because it's IAD, Internal Affairs. One of my demands for police reform is external affairs by civilians that change every year or 2, so they don't get sucked in and get all corrupted. Continuing, the Internal Affairs Division discovered that an inmate filed an officer grievance and made a report of unnecessary force against deputies. The report says that the incident occurred Thursday, February 23rd. According to investigators, the Charles B. Webster Detention Center Intelligence Division, we just know they're full of shit. Number one, there's so many syllables, way too many syllables in that sentence, and anything that has to do with Center Intelligence Division within the government, of course, is an oxymoron. It means the opposite of that. Authorities say the case was forwarded to the Richmond County Criminal Investigations Division, again, a long phrase, where a criminal investigation began and warrants were secured for Sanchez and Jackson. According to the Richmond County Sheriff's Office, both Sanchez and Jackson have been charged with simple battery and violation of oath of office. Take note what they're charged with. Simple battery, it seems way too little for what they actually did.
When they assaulted him, he says this...
Let's take a look at the whole video here.
At noon, the Richmond County Sheriff speaking out after 2 of his jailers were arrested. Gerardo Sanchez Jr. and Joshua Jackson are charged with simple battery, accused of assaulting an inmate. Last week, an inmate filed the complaint, and there's allegedly video evidence that shows it. News Channel 6's Hannah Latier joins us live from the Sheriff's Office. Hannah, Sheriff Richard Roundtree just wrapping up a press conference. What did he have to say?
Yeah, Kim, Sheriff Roundtree tells us this makes 12 employees arrested over the last year.
Pause that for a minute. 12 employees over the last year. Freaking nuts. 12 employees. Those are the ones who it was egregious enough that they said, okay, they're so bad, we got to make sacrificial lambs out of them. What about all the other ones?
And 6 of them were from use of extensive force. Now, we're about to show you the video of the jailers assaulting the inmate, and as a warning, it is graphic and could be disturbing to some viewers. Sheriff Roundtree says this was an inmate that is known for faking medical emergencies, and that's what the jailers were responding to when they assaulted him. He says this string of incidents shows a gap in training and culture for the agency's 700+ employees, and they will be taking steps to prevent this from happening again.
Because we're doing the training, because we're doing the training, because we're doing the training. But I think we're just not reinforcing it enough And that's something that we have to instill in our training, or in our musters, or when we meet every month, or just to come up with some kind of programs, or checking in with our counselor where we mandatorily make them check in on a periodic basis. So we're looking at all of those things to try to fill that gap.
Sheriff Roundtree tells us they want to implement these changes within the next 30 days, and both jailers have been terminated. For now, live in Augusta, Hannah Latier, WJBF News Channel 6.
What do you think and feel, ladies and gentlemen, about that? They just need more training. We need better training. We need a better culture. That's why the supervisors, the managers, the chief of police, the deputies, all of them, from the top chain of command down, need to be held criminally liable and civically liable with no qualified immunity. That shit doesn't happen because of a few rogue deputies. It's cultural. It's systemic. How many people have been fired over the last year? 12. How many should have been fired? Probably all of them. But there were no videos taken of the evidence, most likely. And therefore, no video, no crime. That's why always, ladies and gentlemen, record the police. Report public officials whenever you have an interaction. If they don't like it, fuck them. Do it anyway. Your rights have nothing to do with their feelings when it comes to your interaction with any police or public officials. When it comes to people who work in prisons, they're some of the most sadistic people on the planet. That's just the tip of the iceberg. I will keep you updated as to what transpires with the story, and I want to thank Josh with Accountability for All for sending this my way today. This is Leroy Truth. Till next time.